Hello and welcome to The Pulse. Chelsea 7, Norwich City 0 at Stamford Bridge. The early kickoff, it has started well. This is our hashtag for today, Blues Cruise. It was exactly that. I'm in the company of Savage. Dan has joined us on Zoom. Zach and Sam in the studio with me. Sam, what a performance. 7-0.
Yeah, that was quality. It's everything we asked for. I don't know if Dan's prediction at the top, but it was quite accurate. But, you know, I guess his prediction and Zach's plus, you know, 2 more is more specific. But, yeah, I think the boys were quality. They were just relentless, even defensively as well, when you'd think that Mendy might not be up to it because he hasn't had that many shots on target. We saw that sliding challenge, that was just quality as well. Thiago Silva was quality, and the goals in the second half, Ruben coming on to get involved, Mason Mount asked for it at the top, he scored 3 goals and assists as well. So yeah, man, amazing performance all round.
Dan, I'm going to give you a right to reply because, in fairness, we've seen teams that have come in and just dug in, stuck 11 men behind the ball and tried to make it difficult. It just never really got going, and the golfing class was, well, obvious today, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were flawless, if I'm honest. I didn't expect it to go that well so fast. I thought we'd have to dig in a little bit and be a bit more patient. But once we got that first goal, and then the second one, and then the third, I was looking at it, I just think, oh, Zach's going to get this 4-0. And then it flew past 4, went straight to 7. Look, you can't ask for any more. It was a disciplined display as well as a display of like complete just force, annihilation. We completely battered them. You won't see a performance quite so convincing this season, probably.
Zach, it's rare that a Premier League game ends 7-0, but 7-0 wasn't flattering to Chelsea because they were good value for that, if not more. You know, Chelsea were so far advanced today. They were brilliant.
Yeah, I think I said at the start of the show that I wanted Chelsea to come into this game and show everyone else in the league that we're not messing around. Like every game where, because sometimes these games can be games that trip you up and you get a draw or you come to a surprise loss. But no, today Chelsea went out there, they did the business, they stuck to Thomas Tuchel's game plan. Especially there's a lot of talk with obviously no Werner, no Lukaku, what's going to happen with Kai up top. But it worked fantastically well. It worked really, really well. And yeah, Chelsea, a lot of other teams will be looking at that performance and thinking, wow, I do not want to play Chelsea.
No, you're absolutely right. Let's get on to the game in social then. And today was obviously a special occasion for Chelsea fans as well, remembering Matthew Harding, 25 years on from his sad passing. Such an important figure in the history of this football club. And also a man that's proper Chelsea through and through. So the fact that so many academy graduates managed to get on the score sheet in such a convincing, memorable win today, it's a really touching and lovely tribute. And you know, Sam, let's look at these tweets that are coming in. Some of the best moments of my life have been in that seat. Matthew Harding up at Stamford Bridge. Rest in peace, Matthew. 25 years gone, but your legacy lives on. Come on, you Blues. We had Elizabeth in before the game talking about how, you know, how much of a cult thing it is to be in the Matthew Harding. You're in the Matthew Harding today, you've got a lot of goals to celebrate. And it feels like it was nicer today to have that performance in memory of him.
Yeah, I think the energy around today was in honour of him, and you can tell that the boys really knew how much he meant to the club and wanted to put on a performance for him, and I think that was like the perfect performance.
It really was. It's difficult to remember this, boys, because it does feel a long time ago. But let's go back to the start, right before the game, because it started with a lot of talk about Mason Mount. Mason Mount then delivered, and these are the celebration, the Frankenstein celebration that Mason Mount does when he scores. He is nominated. He is nominated for the Ballon d'Or. He's probably not going to win it, but he's nominated. This is our overreaction tweet of the day, which is one of my favourites. Mason Mount with the greatest goal ever. Oh my God, we are back. I mean, it was a brilliant finish, Zach.
Yeah, the first one was a very, very nice finish. Ball comes into him with some power, and it's kind of across his body, bottom corner, and it just started the day off. And it kept going.
Dan, he seems to be a player that we struggle to find superlatives to talk up. You know, he scored a hat-trick today, his first hat-trick in Chelsea Blue, I think I'm right in saying that. I remember him scoring a hat-trick for Vitesse Arnhem when he was on loan there a couple of years ago. But we were saying that the criticism often sort of put Mason's way to people that don't fully appreciate him or see him week in, week out, is he doesn't score enough goals. Scored a hat-trick today and got an assist.
Yeah, and to be fair, even throughout the match, I've been having some Twitter arguments with people who don't seem to rate him as highly. I'm not sure what it's going to take.
I love it, defending.
I'm not sure what it's going to take, but how can you doubt him? He is, you know, he was our Player of the Year last season. Fair enough, he may not have hit possibly the individual heights that he may have liked this season, but as a team, we've been better. We've been more structured. There's been less so much about him having to dig us out of the mud, and more about the team as a whole. Even so, he's played excellently. He's played today. He's got 3 goals. You can't ask for any more. This is just a player who's going to hit heights that I don't know. We actually don't even know where his ceiling is on how good he's going to be, but we know he's a special talent right now. Let's appreciate him for what he is right now, because we know in a few years he's going to get even better.
Yeah, absolutely right. And if this person is watching, could you get involved? Because someone before the game did foresee this. Whoa. Elvis. Mount hat-trick income. We showed this pre-match. Elvis, I'm going to have to follow him and ask him for the lottery numbers for tonight, because that is a sensational draw, isn't it? Again, Mason Mount hasn't scored a hat-trick in Chelsea Blue yet. Kai Havertz has scored a hat-trick. He's starting up top. Mount's playing as a 10. This is unbelievable, Sam.
Yeah, but I think it's the positions that he was picking up as well, the confidence that everyone was showing in the game, and he just picked up. I think the first goal just gave him that confidence to get into that area more often, make those runs off the forward as well, and he just got that hunger now. Now he might be having these here on Twitter and all the socials and seeing what people are saying about him not scoring and getting assists, and he was like, you know what, I'm getting a hat-trick.
Absolutely, definitely a performance to be proud of. Another man that will certainly be getting a slap on the back as he came off this afternoon was Callum Hudson-Odoi. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant again. This is the type of football we've been asking for Hudson-Odoi for years. I'm honestly praying he fully takes advantage of the playing time and remains consistent. Zach, we spoke about this before the game, because we know how, like Dan said about Mason Mount, we don't quite know Callum's ceiling yet. We've seen so many moments of brilliance from him. Desperately unlucky with that injury that kind of, started his progress a little bit. He's still so young, and there's always talk about younger players that need to play more minutes, etc., etc. Phil Foden was the example we used before. It's a fair example, a player that perhaps has got to bide his time a little bit. You look at the heights he's hitting. Callum Hudson-Odoi is still very much a part of this Chelsea team. When he gets his opportunity, he takes it. And I think there is that about him, isn't it? He's getting that opportunity, and he's taking it. So you just you want him to do that, and you want him to be given the opportunity, and everything's going all right for him.
For sure, yeah. I think today was a kind of a game where we saw the best of Callum. I think there's been a few times when, and it's not his own fault, but he's had to play right wing back, and obviously you're not getting the best of his ability. Today he was in left wing, in his favourite position, attacking Norwich. I don't know what they were told, but decided to also give him the most amount of space, which is even better for him to drive at people, really get into those areas. And yeah, like he took his chance. This is what it's about, right? When you are given your opportunity, you've got to perform. Like Chelsea's attack, as we said about depth and how competitive it is to get this starting place. When you've got it, you're more. If you're playing well week in, week out, you're more than likely going to start the next game and the next game and the next game after that. It'll be very interesting to see whether he features in the cup during the week and even next weekend. But yeah, Callum will come away from this game and not be disappointed. Like he knows he left it all out there.
Yeah, absolutely right. And it does feel as well, potentially, it's just a case of Thomas Tuchel prefers some players in some games. Some games suit some players more than other players. And that's important to remember, a bit of perspective. We've got a squad for that reason. We've got so many talented players. Another man that was superb again today was Reece James. He's always brilliant. We kind of struggle for superlatives with Reece as well. He's got everything in his game and adding a brilliant goal. Quite a lot of reaction, rightly so, for that. That Mount, James, Cobham link-up, wow, what a goal. Was a brilliant finish, a really, really brilliant finish. Danny has got that in the locker. We've seen a couple of this is from Christian, a Man United fan. That Reece James chip is the kind of stuff you only see on a game of FIFA Ultimate Team. What a finish it was. He's got that ability in that class that I suppose only until recently fullbacks haven't really been stereotypically of that ability. They've not really been seen as these complete ultimate footballers. Reece James is the type of player that could play anywhere on the pitch, and his ability will shine because he's that good technically.
He's got it all. He's got the ability to do the tough stuff as well, because he'll fly into a challenge, he'll get up for a header and beat you. He's physically so strong, there's no getting around him once he gets the correct side of the ball. But then on top of that, when he's on the ball, he's got the little delicate touches and the finesse to be able to create something out of nothing, or to just be able to pull out something like a chip of beauty. Honestly, that's another player that we just have no idea, or I have an idea, but I don't know if everyone else has the idea of how good he actually is and how good he can actually become. He's got everything: strength, speed, great mentality. He's brave. He can create. The world's his oyster. Honestly, in my opinion, we've got the best right back in the league.
I completely agree with you. I hear no arguments here whatsoever. We've also probably got the best academy in the league as well. There's a lot of talk about that. And, you know, the amount of Cobham players today that are involved, Mount, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Reece James from the boys from Trevor Chalobah as well, obviously played really well. But more so, like, Ruben, yeah, of course, I think the last time we scored 7 was that Grimsby Carabao Cup game a couple of years ago when a lot of these boys were given their first opportunity to play. Zach, it does feel like we are so gifted, we're in a position now. So I know that you get a chance to speak to a lot of the boys from Cobham, but I don't want to say it means more when a player that's come through the academy scores for Chelsea, because whoever's wearing a Chelsea shirt, I love seeing score. But you know these players have made that journey and made that step. We see a lot of talk and a lot of stories about their development through the years and how it's changed and that there's now an opportunity perhaps there wasn't as much before. But when they get there, they're only staying there because they have that ability, because they're world-class elite athletes. Yeah. And they're proving that on a weekly basis. Yeah, exactly. I was actually thinking, I think the Grimsby was Reece's first goal as well, scored a free kick. No, exactly, man. Like, it's not easy to get into this Chelsea side, right? We just won the Champions League. They are developing into one of the best teams in the world. And these boys who have, from our own back garden, developed them through the years they've been here since such a young age, have come through and stepped into a team. It's not, they've not just been given a place because they're from Cobham. Like, they've earned it. You've got to be good enough to make it into this Chelsea team. And we've seen others like Tammy Abraham move on and Fikayo Tomori. And the boys that are here and continuing, like, they are fighting for their place week in, week out against other superstars as well. And they deserve everything that's coming their way. Absolutely right. There's so many across the Premier League, so that's staggering stat. There's pretty much one Chelsea Academy graduate in every Premier League team in the league at the moment. It's brilliant. Into the second half, and it was another name, a familiar name on the score sheet. Chilwell has more goals than Sterling, Foden, Martial, Sancho and Gabriel Jesus this season. Not bad. Ben Chilwell is the first English player to score in 4 consecutive Premier League games for Chelsea since Frank Lampard in February 2013. Some stats and some names that he's keeping up with there, Sam. Yeah, you can see the confidence, and I think that's what Tuchel's done so well. There was a lot of questions around why is he not playing, Alonso's getting all these games, but Tuchel's proven that whoever plays, he trusts them. And I think Chilwell has taken that and he said, thank you for the opportunity. I'm going to score some goals as well, do you know what I mean? And even after he scored, he was taking more shots on, he was trying to get in. There was a point he was playing up front, like, do you know what I mean? He was just enjoying himself, and that's what you want to see. Even with Reece James, the goal that he scored as well, normally he would try to cut it back, but he went for the dink because they've got that confidence. Tuchel and the team that they're seeing around them is giving them that confidence to do that. So, yeah, I'm happy for him, man. I love that. It's such a good vibe around Stamford Bridge at the moment. Obviously, we've just won 7-0. Sam's been out speaking to some fans. Let's get some reaction.
This is my first time to come to the Stamford Bridge, and I think it's a pretty good game for me. You know, I'm Mason Mount's fan, so I really like. He's really hardworking. Really good, and it was exciting.
What was your favourite goal?
Mason Mount's goal at the end.
Oh, it's unreal. What a good game. Can't go for his second game and 7 goals. Unbelievable.
Perfect.
It's his birthday today.
Hello.
Sonny.
Yes. What do I think of the game? Absolutely brilliant. First game I've been to in 2 years. Really? Amazing. 7-0. You can't ask for more, really, can you?
Mate, absolutely amazing. We was all over him. 7-0. Saturday lunchtime. What else can you ask for?
What a sign-off!
Yeah, trust me.
What a sign-off that was.
The energy was
and again, Dan, if that's their first game, the first person we heard from, that's their first game, we're winning 7-0. We need to find a way to get them a season ticket, don't we?
Yeah, well, we need to find a way to make sure that's not their expectation. Going to a game and winning 7-0 every game is not going to happen, but yeah, bring them back. Definitely bring them back.
Absolutely right. And let's get on to our knee-jerk reaction for today then. And I think you probably can see where this one's going. No forwards, no problems. Chelsea have got so much strength in depth. That was the chat before the game, and it was like we foresaw this, but we did really, boys, didn't we? We did foresee this because the strength in depth. Ross Barkley finished as a centre forward in the game. Kai Havertz played a lot of it. The rotation, the integration between the players. Chilwell, as people was playing as a 10 in midweek. There's a lot of that, isn't there? But when you've got the squad that Chelsea have and the creative attacking players that you've got, it's not really a case of one person plays in one role. They're so fluid and so interchangeable. We saw a lot of that last season. We won the Champions League.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, that's what Thomas Tuchel wants. That's the way he manages. That's what, especially at Chelsea at least, maybe less so at the other clubs he was at. He wants versatile players that can fill in different positions. That, okay, they might be a striker per se in Timo Werner, but he can also play on the wing. In Mason Mount, he can play 8. He can play, again, wing. He can play 9 at times. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, right? Like, if you'd said to me at the beginning of the season, Ruben Loftus-Cheek is going to be playing really, really well and in like a 6th position, I would have been like, I've never, what are you on about? I've never seen him do that in his life. But he's taken it to like a duck to water, I think that's the saying. Sure. Anyway, right now it's great. You can't complain at all.
No, absolutely. Like we said, the vibe's going to be brilliant over the next couple of days. A lot of reaction on social media, kind of emphasising that as well. This Thierry meme's great, isn't it? That was very cruel on Norwich.
Oh, God.
So I think Jason Cundy used that line in commentary, actually. Just Chelsea having a normal day at work. No Werner, no Big Rom, no problem. I know Romelu was watching as well, and he was very positive ahead of it. Every Chelsea player today very much Arjen Robben cutting inside on the left hand with his left foot, loves it. And Mendy.
I mean, Mendy did have to make a great tackle.
He did.
It wasn't even a save, it was a pure defender's tackle.
He did. And especially, Dan, because me and Sam were in here every time Kai Havertz got the ball wanting a goal because we've got him as captain on FPL. But we're saying, Eddie Mendy before the game, if anyone was brave enough, it's probably the quietest day he's had in a long time. That tackle save, it emphasised how good he's been because large spells you're not having to concentrate, you're not having to be at it. But then when he's needed, when he's relied upon, brilliant again.
He's proven it time and time again as well. Every time there's a quiet game, because it usually is when we play, we're so well drilled defensively that there's not many times that we're just getting carved open. So he has to be alert, has to be switched on. But every single time he's awake to challenges, slide tackles, saves, fingertips, whatever it is. I'm very, very comfortable and I sleep well at night knowing that Edouard Mendy is my goalkeeper.
I couldn't agree
He
more,
almost
mate.
sees it as an insult when he has to make a save. He just looks at the defenders like so angry, like why did I have to do that?
You made a great comment, Sam, when we were watching the game about Trevor Chalobah and the fact that it's kind of just normal that we see him playing now, and that's such a confidence thing to say to him because at the start of the season we had Carlo Cudicini before the season. We're talking about his loan developments. I don't think even the most ardent Chelsea fans saw him being such an imperative part of this Chelsea team going forward at the moment. But he's not only a first teamer, you can make an argument that he should be starting as well every game.
And that's the thing, he seems like he keeps on getting better. And the first game that we saw him, you understand, okay, he's given an opportunity, he scores an amazing goal as well. So you might see him take a back seat just to, embed him into the squad a bit more. But every time he plays, he shows maturity. He's a leader as well. He passes out from the back. He gets in and among the goals as well. And that's what you'd want from an academy player that's come through the ranks. So I think we're just going to keep on seeing him get better and better.
Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. Let's get some post-match reaction then. Pitch side, Lee Parker has the manager, Thomas Tuchel.
Thomas, congratulations. A fantastic result. What was a very special day?
Yes, it was. We were sharp from the start. We had a lot of intensity, high rhythm, and we did it as a team, and I'm absolutely happy about the effort that we put in, the intensity over the 90 minutes. We never stopped, and we were hungry. Of course, if you score so many goals, it's also like you need the momentum, you need a bit of luck, we know that, but I'm absolutely happy with the effort and the attitude.
And once again, another very special day for the Chelsea Academy.
Yes, this shows and proves the quality of the academy. Very happy to have players from there. What they're doing there is amazing. Door is always open, and then, like I always say, it has to be like this. This makes a club special if you have boys from the academy on the pitch. When they are decisive, like today, even better.
A word on Mason Mount, a hat-trick of course, but how good was he both on and off the ball this afternoon?
Yeah, he's reaching his top level again. Like I said, I felt him a bit mentally tired because the boy is playing so many games in different competitions. I'm not sure if now everything is solved for him because we are in between national breaks again, so it will come again, but I'm very happy. He looks fresher, he looks a bit like that he is more relieved and a bit more free, plays with a bit more freedom, and that's necessary because it's part of the game from us offensive players that you have the freedom, and I'm happy that he scored. Was a bit lucky with the penalty, but he has 3 goals and the ball in his pocket.
Ben Chilwell is a prolific goal scorer, it seems. What can we say about not just the goal scoring, but his form after what was a difficult summer for him?
Yes, was the same. He had, like I said, was a bit tough and was a bit sad from the experiences he had and could not find the joy so easy and could not find the freedom and the excitement to be on the pitch, and things got a bit like felt awkward for him. And Marcos Alonso was playing so good in the beginning and was also decisive for us. First match free kick, second match and so on. So now he is back. He pushed the luck onto his side. He took his chance and he's very strong, and I'm happy. It's like we need the wing-backs to score in our structure. We need the wing-backs to arrive in the box to be decisive, and both sides are doing well. And don't forget, Aspi is always there, Marcus is always there, so it's good to have the boys in the shape.
7 goals, but another clean sheet. You've not conceded a goal now in 300 minutes. You must be especially pleased with that.
Yes, because it's not only about attacking and not only about defending. As you know, it's a very complex game, so you can also defend when you attack. And I'm happy with the effort and with the acceleration, with the coverage throughout the field. We looked very solid today, and we deserve to win.
Brilliant. Thanks, Ron.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Congrats.
What an absolute legend.
I love that man.
Thomas Tuchel.
I love you.
We all do that. You're watching in awe of him. And Dan, we were just chatting in here about it, how much is his honesty, and you get the sense that he's as honest with us as fans as he is with his players. And when we as fans are buying into trusting him, we only get to see 3-minute snippets of him once a week. The players must be just besotted with the man.
Yeah, he's always got he always seems to be singing from the same hymn sheet. He's consistent in his message. If you're left out, it's nothing personal. It's just either because of the opposition or the amount of minutes or that someone's playing well. You know, it's never personal. He gets, paid the big bucks to make the decisions that better the football team and give us the best possible results. And he's getting us the best results, And even when players are not playing and after a few weeks, we begin to raise an eyebrow and be like, oh, how does that person get back in a team like we were a few weeks ago? Now look at Chilwell. He's in the best form of his career. So credit to Thomas.
Absolutely right, mate. Absolutely right. I mean, rarely do you get a game where you see 7 goals in a Premier League game. So let's take you behind the scenes a little bit. This is the reaction of us in the studio for all the 7. That's the first one.
Shock.
I'll be honest, I'd love to tell you which goals these were from, but there were so many that I'm not quite sure.
We're just applauding.
Well, after a while, it was kind of getting commonplace, wasn't it? We'd scored 7, so they were all fairly
I was
nice.
stuffing my face as well, so it's good that they're not showing me.
And also, just a little point as well: the fact that the chairs are a lot lower when the game's on. So we've not all of a sudden shrunk in or lounging around. The chairs are just a lot lower for that. But Sam, it doesn't happen that often, does it? It doesn't happen when you score 7. But when you do score 7, you've got to cherish it.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I think because we kind of expected us to play to that level. Didn't expect it to be a 7, but when you saw us score in the first 7 minutes and the intensity, we didn't care who the opposition were. We were going to press them regardless. We were going to try to create chances. And it was literally up until the last minute with the changes being made as well. This was fantasy. That's when Kai got subbed.
This is when Kai Havertz got subbed off and me and Sam have got him as captain. That was the penalty?
Yeah. A maybe? Good side profile.
It is.
Really
good
side profile.
I don't know what. I get really fidgety when I'm watching.
That was when the goalkeeper is off his line.
And I love a quick clap.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. I feel like I'm on a touchline. I feel like I'm on a touchline. That was the goal. That was a decent goal. And again, all of us now, it feels horrible. You feel slightly, I don't know, spoiled that we scored that many today.
Yeah.
Do feel a little bit spoiled we scored that. Dan, you got away with that a little bit, mate. And I know that you're a celebrator as well.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm lucky that there's not really any footage here of me. To be fair, it was a kind of a relaxed game. From when we were 2-0 up, I was pretty much just really relaxed as every goal went in. I wasn't clapping or anything like that. It was just business as usual. But in a big match, in a tense game, you guys will know I'm just all over the shop. And I'll be,
I'll tell you, it's an experience. It's an experience watching a tense game with Dan because he's unlike anyone else that you're going to watch a game with. His tactical nous is unbelievable as well. By the way, when he's wearing the gilet,
oh my Lord,
unreal. There's levels to this game.
Then you add Jason Cundy to the room, and it's like we're playing a five-a-side.
I do feel for Ben because he's going to need a rest and relaxation when it's coming. He's going to be full of bruises
all the time, just like
he's going to be so bruised from 7 goals. He really is. Let's get some more reaction then, as Sam popped out to see some fans a second ago.
What do you think of the game today?
Good, ruthless. We were clinical. We obviously expected a win against Norwich, but couldn't be happy with the performance, to be fair.
Yeah, I reckon we could have scored a few more, but 7's good enough, I think.
Who was your man of the match?
Got to be Mason with the hat-trick, yeah.
I love this about football fans because they're absolutely right. Watching the game, 7 hasn't flattered us. We've scored 7. We've won 7-0 at home. We're all going, we could have hit 9 or 10 today. We could have hit double figures potentially. But we were that good, Sam. And I suppose, is that what the vibe is like out there? We were that good that, like Dan was saying, it was kind of business as usual. And that's probably the biggest pat on the back that we can have. This isn't a shock result everyone's going over the top of because we've been that good.
Yeah, and I think the energy around the fans, they were excited, but also because of the fact that the players that came through the academy, there was some academy players out there that I spoke to, and you could see they're inspired. Do you know what I mean? Because they see a path.
Kids are out there.
Yeah, so they see a path that they can go down because of Loftus-Cheek, because of Trevor. So it's like it's the energy plus the experience that we have with Rudiger, Mendy, Jorginho. I think everything is coming together.
Yeah, massively. And Dan, obviously, the week's going to be a busy one. Every week's busy now, in fairness, isn't it? Because, we've got so many games stacked up. We've got Southampton in the week. We've obviously then got Newcastle next week. We've got Champions League game the week after that. We've got Burnley, I think, scattered in there. It's a nice run of fixtures until we play Leicester and Man United at the end of November. Is that right? I think towards the end of November. But with all these games, results like today, like we said in midweek, you have to almost just tick it off and move past it. You can't get carried away when you've beat Norwich at home because it's expected. But also, you have to take all the positives today and go, look, we've shown that killer instinct, we've shown that ruthlessness in front of goal. Do you expect to see a lot of rotation in the week?
I do, but only because Thomas Tuchel, every time I think he's going to do something, he does the opposite and it's still right. So in my head, I think we'll see a fair amount of changes. I don't think it will weaken us as such. I think we'll roll over Southampton, even though they'll obviously be a little bit tougher than it is today. But we've got a nice run of fixtures. I think it's very important that we don't dwell too much on the results. Let the opposition do that because other teams will be looking at that 7-0 win today and be completely scared to death by it because it's not just the 7 goals that we scored. It's the fact that we barely even dropped an opportunity. We didn't even give them a chance at goal. And we do have that side to us where we're very difficult to play against and other teams will feel scared going into these fixtures. So it's important that we get some momentum now and really begin to pull away from the pack whilst the rest of the teams play each other.
Completely right. And Zach, I suppose the big question, the main question is going to be who starts up front for Chelsea because Ben touched on it in commentary. We've obviously with Lukaku and with Werner out, we've not really got any of the academy boys because Armando Broja will probably be the next in line. He's gone out on loan to Southampton, so he's obviously not going to play. But can Kai Havertz start 3 on the bounce? And do you want him to start 3 on the bounce if we are thinking he's going to lead the line against Newcastle next Saturday?
He did look a little bit tired by the 60th minute. You saw maybe he wasn't quite making as many runs. It'll be interesting to see where Pulisic is at that point. I don't know whether that'll be too soon. You could maybe even see what we saw at the end. Ross Barkley was trying it. There's not going to be an out-and-out striker, that's for sure. But look, this is Chelsea, like the way, as we mentioned earlier, that how versatile every single player is. Maybe it's more of a false 9, and Mason can kind of do that thing. Like, put it this way, I back Thomas Tuchel to figure it out, and it'll be a great solution, whatever it'll be. I
suppose that in one sense, it's a little bit of a shame that it is Southampton in a Premier League team because they are going to test us. They're a good side to play against. But if this were a team from a lower division, you could maybe have a look at one of the academy players that are stepping up. Jutun Sokbel keeps banging in goals for whatever team he's playing for in development percentages. You've got a lot of other options there. Even Brian Fiabema scored the other day for George Nunn as another one. There's a lot of players that are kind of on that cusp that could step in. It's probably the fact it's a Southampton team that are probably going to look at it as a good opportunity for them as well. Maybe it's not right to put one of them boys in, but you never know, do you? Because like you just said, whatever Thomas Tuchel does, you trust him.
Yeah, and that was what I was going to say. Like, it might start one way with, you know, more first-team players, but if we do get a comfortable lead going into the second half, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see those academy players that are doing well in those games to get an opportunity, because Tuchel is shown that he's very flexible and he does want to give people the opportunity if they're doing well in training and in games.
Interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Obviously, a busy week coming up on the 5th stand-up. Make sure you join us for all of it. Of course, Tuesday, 7:10, we will be live for Matchday Live in the Carabao Cup against Ralph Hasenhüttl's Southampton. Then later in the week, Thomas Tuchel's press conference ahead of Chelsea away at against Newcastle United, away at Newcastle United next Saturday. 5 to 2, we are live on Matchday Live. It's quite a buzz up in Newcastle at the moment, but there won't be much of a buzz.
I will end it, don't worry.
If they've watched this 12:30 kickoff, mate, that buzz will have been silenced. Don't worry about that. I suppose that's what we're at now, Dan, isn't it? Just looking ahead, taking each game as it comes, but trying to replicate today's performance.
Yeah, that's it. If we could beat every team 7-0, I'll be a happy bunny. But even if we just trickle past them 1-0, that's fine with me as well. I'm just here. I really, really want to win the Premier League. I'm just going to be honest. That's the one I'm after. And I just really want to win all the important matches. I would love to beat Southampton, but I'm not as fussed about them as the games that follow. I'm desperate to win the Premier League this year.
It's a big statement goal difference-wise, because, again, Ben and Jason both touched on it in commentary, saying Liverpool score shed loads.
Yes,
beat Watford 5 last week. Man City do that religiously to teams as well. They're probably going to be the two we're up against. You need to bank on days like today to get your goal numbers up.
Look, I think us three are going to be going at this Premier League title for the whole season, and it could come down to a goal difference. It really could, and that swing of scoring 7 goals like this and taking opportunity. That's what Jace was saying on commentary. Like, it's about putting them to the sword, making sure you score as many as you possibly can. Not just for confidence of the players, but it can literally get down to it where only each team might lose 1 or 2 games, and it comes down to everyone's on the same points. And that goal difference is what may win you the league.
Completely right. Boys, thank you very much. Sam, Zach, Dan, brilliant as always, boys. What a start to the weekend. Chelsea 7, Norwich City 0 at Stamford Bridge. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm sure you will. Thank you for watching.